Hey guys, how you doing today? This is going to be my review of the Delica 4 by Spyderco. I've had this knife for about 6 months now and carried it for a good amount of that time. I've been very impressed with this knife and the way it performs. Still, there's a few things that I'd like to change about this. More on that later. Right now you can see that this knife doesn't have a pocket clip on it. This knife comes with a coated black pocket clip. I ended up polishing mine up. You can see the back here, the actual color of the pocket clip once you take the coating off is that darker metal look. It looks actually pretty good when you leave it like this, but I decided to take it a little further and polish it up. So this pretty much looks like every one of my other Spyderco pocket clips now. Just put this back on while I'm talking. Like I said, there would be a few things I'd like to change about this knife. One of them being the FRN handles. I find the combination of the FRN handles and the thin nested steel liners doesn't really give this knife a lot of torsional rigidity. What that means is the side to side, there's no blade play in this knife, but you can see when I'm doing this that the knife does flex. I don't know if you'll be able to tell that. If you watch right around this area, you can see that the handle and the blade are moving. It's not blade play, but it's flex in the knife, and that's basically because of the thinner nested steel liners and these FRN handles. I would absolutely love to find a Delica with the G10 handles to see if that gave it some more of that torsional rigidity. Besides that, I don't have any problems with this knife. Perfect EDC knife, super lightweight, actually disappears in your pocket. There's 2 separate times where I put another knife in my pocket, not even realizing I had this one on me. This knife to me would be more of a straight up EDC knife than anything else. I've brought this out in the bush when I first got it and recorded my tests with it, and just through carving wood and stuff like that, I could feel the backlock moving around. I'll demonstrate what I'm talking about once I get this last screw in. When I was out testing this knife, as soon as I got it, I started to do a feather stick and to put notches into wood. Usually I'll have a pocket knife on me 100% of the time, so if I'm out in the bush and that's all I have, out in the bush being like just in my backyard, because in my backyard there's pretty much a forest back there, I'll always have a folding knife on me, so I do want to see what it could do, so I don't ruin my knife and so I don't put it through something that it actually can't handle. But like I said, when I was doing feather sticks with this, I could feel the lock bar moving around. So when you put pressure up on this blade, just like you do when you're cutting, you could feel this back lock moving around. Putting pressure up on this blade puts pressure on this back spring here, and it'll actually make the back spring sink deeper into the blade notch, and this back lock here will actually raise up a little. There's no risk in this disengaging when that's going on, but it does make a certain feeling in the hand to where you could feel that back lock moving around, and it's not really a good feeling. Like I said, it's not really a problem in that it won't cause the knife to fail, but I could see too much of that and you'll develop blade play either up and down or side to side. Like I said, this knife is super lightweight, awesome to carry in your pocket. Wish it had a deeper carry pocket clip. You could see how much of that would actually be sticking up out of your pocket. Gives a good ample amount to grab onto to retrieve it out of your pocket, but I'd still like to see a deeper pocket clip on this, especially for a EDC knife. Necessarily when I'm carrying an EDC knife, I don't like to advertise to the whole world that I got a pocket knife on me. Just still some of the looks I get, I'd rather not. When I got this knife, it was I think $62. It was the cheapest one out of all the colors. That's why I ended up picking the brown. Now here in Canada, these went up to $82, so I was lucky to get this when I did for the price I did. Fits really good in hand. at least my hands, this would almost be the perfect size EDC knife for me, based off of the handle length and the blade length. Really love, I wasn't too sure about this when I got it, but I really love the thin blade stock on this. Makes it an excellent slicer. Cutting through cardboard, it doesn't really move around the material too much, so it actually slices with so much ease. Still super impressed at how not a lot of friction is made while doing cuts like this. Effortless comes to mind, and that's probably the only word that adequately describes using this knife, is effortless making cuts like this. VG10 is slowly but surely becoming my favorite steel for a lot of reasons. You really don't have to worry about rust with VG10 as long as you wipe your knives off if they get moisture. That pretty much goes with any steel though. The ease of sharpening and the results I get with this steel I really like. Easier to sharpen, I find, than S30V by a long shot, and a little less hassle to get that razor sharp edge. You could almost be a little less careful and still get a razor sharp edge with this, and that's sort of the best thing about this knife. You could use it, but you could always get that razor sharp edge back. I'd like to see maybe different screws used on some Spyderco knives. I really like the screws they use for their Sage series or their Taiwan made knives. I don't know what it is about the screws on those knives, but they just seem a little bit more robust, a little stronger than most of their other models. Have stripped a couple screws from my Spyderco USA models, but took apart my Sage about 3 times since I've owned it and haven't had any problems with it. Overall, for the price of this knife, it's totally worth it. This one took a little bit of time to loosen up to where you could just press the back lock and give it a little shake and the blade will drop like that. But now that it's actually broken in, it's pretty smooth for a back lock. You got to remember with a back lock too, you're not going to get the smoothest knife just because that lock bar is always in contact with the blade tang, causing friction. But for a lock back knife, this knife is smooth. I like the sound of it opening and closing. It's a reassuring sound that lock is engaging. Disengaging the lock is fairly simple. There's no struggle to push down that back lock. I've handled a Cold Steel last week, a Cold Steel Recon 4 I think it was, and wow, those back locks are freaking strong. It's nothing like that. You won't get like that divot you get in your thumb from pressing down a Cold Steel. But you don't get that strength that the Cold Steel back lock gives you. The difference between these and like Cold Steel back locks is that this doesn't have a stop pin in it. The only thing stopping the blade from riding all the way back is that lock bar. On Cold Steels, they have this lock bar, but they also have a stop pin right in here. So a lot of the force of the blade is just hitting that stop pin instead of the actual back lock. Spyderco has done a similar type of thing with their new power lock on their Tatanka model, but still not as good maybe as we'll say as Cold Steel's triad lock. Really great knife for the price, really awesome knife for EDC. Would totally recommend it as someone's first Spyderco. I think getting this as your first Spyderco would be a good choice. Lets you know what's sort of out there for mid-range knives. I say mid-range because that's sort of the price that I think of a mid-range knife is, to me at least. Anywhere from I'd say $50 to $100 would be a mid-price knife for me. Anywhere from $100 to $300 would be a higher end knife for me, and then usually $50 or lower would be a lower end knife. Just rolling in some size comparisons for this. Sorry about that, guys. My battery died. Like I was saying, I'm going to roll in some size comparisons for this knife. So you got the Spyderco Tenacious here. Just a little bit bigger in blade length, but the handle's pretty much the same length here. You got a CRKT Ripple. This is the small version. You can see both the handle and the blade are a little bit smaller. You got a Kershaw Chill. It'd probably be right around the same size as the Delica. Handle length is the same, and blade length is a little bit bigger on the Chill. You got a leak here. The leak is right around 7 inches, right on the money, and the Delica I think is 7¼ inches. You have a CRKT Swindle here. Just put the Sage up here because it's roughly the same size also. And then the Kershaw Oh So Sweet. So that gives you a basic size comparison of the Delica compared to some popular knives. Out of all these, I'd say this one would be your best bang for your buck. The blade steel, the construction of it, and then also the warranty you get with Spyderco. You gotta remember that when you're buying knives, that some of the price, not a lot of it, but some of the price is involved in the warranty. I know with Benchmade, a lot of people say their knives are super overpriced, but to me they're not really. I mean, for I think $25 for any Benchmade knife, you could send your knife in and get a replacement blade. I think that's pretty awesome, and I think that's a lot of the reason why some knives like Spyderco, Benchmade, ZT sort of take into account the warranty when they're pricing their knives, because I could send this knife back if something happens to it, like I don't know what, if I strip out a screw and I can't get it out, I know Spyderco will take it out. I may have to pay for that service, but $5 for sharpening, just basic stuff to keep your knife running for the rest of your life. And that's what they sort of mean by a lifetime warranty. Most stuff on this knife, you could send it back and get it fixed with a minimal amount of feet, or actually free. So that's been my review of this knife, guys. Been very happy with it. Like I said in the beginning, I got this knife for a really good price at $62 Canadian. Now they're up to like 72 to 82 here in Canada. I would still pay that $82 to get one of these, and I'm thinking about getting another color. Yeah, so this has been my review of the Spyderco Delica. Really great knife to own, really even better knife to use. Thanks for watching this, guys, and stay tuned for more. Bye.